I don't know about you, but I am getting sick and tired on waiting for Jota. Please, hurry up. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's time for another Celtic transfer talk today. We're going to run through a little bit of an update to everything that's going on at Celtic at the moment as we still wait for confirmation of Jota's transfer to Celtic, if it's to happen. A lot of people getting sceptical and nervous, and rightly so. As time drags on, that's just prone to happen. But I think that there's a reason to remain confident. We'll talk about that in today's video, and we're also going to look at the latest player to be linked with Celtic and their increasing chances of landing said player. However, it's the same as always. We wait patiently, we get names thrown at us left, right and centre, and we've just got to take what we're given when the time comes. Before we go any further with the video, please make sure to go down below, hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're about 600 subscribers away from 35,000. That's absolutely mad. So if you haven't, it would be much appreciated. You could go down there and do that. So there isn't really any update in Jota right now, is there? There's a lot of people who keep commenting on my videos asking, what's the Jota update? What's happening with Jota? And I'll say the same that I've said every single time I'm asked and every week I come on this channel. I have no idea. I am not involved in the transfer business. I don't have any in-the-know information that I'm going to sit here and pretend that I do. You've just got to be patient, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying my best to be patient, but I understand it is getting tiresome. I still remain confident that Jota will sign for Celtic. We're apparently at a stage now where the only situation and the only thing to deal with is the personal terms between the player and the club, so I'm hoping that that is being done. But if you're keeping up to date on social media with Jota and his sort of ongoings, he's all about the place. He's getting about, he's on holidays, enjoying himself. I think he's been in America, Mexico, I think he's been back over in Portugal, I think he's been in Ibiza. He's sure getting around, and you know what, maybe he's just enjoying his summer before he puts pen to paper with Celtic. But I like the images, you know, we've seen him out in Celtic shirts over in America and all the rest of it. I do remain confident that he will sign for us. I think it is just about being patient till the official announcement comes, with whatever hurdles may be in the way right now. So that's basically all I can say. We have 15 days now from the recording of this video to the expiry of his loan deal. At that point, then that's when I worry. And when we approach that date of the 30th of June, that's when I worry. But hopefully sometime this week the announcement comes. Who knows? It might come on a random Friday night, just like it did with Cameron Carter-Vickers. So let's talk about the new news. The news. It's funny, they have a word for that, isn't it? Let's talk about that. I keep seeing this name linked with Celtic over the past few days, and it's one that I've yet to speak about on the channel. It's one that I've yet to do my Celtic transfer report on, and that is the name Vinicius. Now, I'm going to presume that it's Souza, right? It could be Souza, it could be any, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Once again, I usually go and do my research for all the pronunciations to make sure I'm coming on and doing the respectful thing of getting it right. But I just haven't done that yet, so pardon me if I'm getting it wrong. But Vinicius Souza is the latest name to be thrown in with this transfer window, and Celtic, as Celtic look to reinforce that central defensive mid area, one area that I think we're all in agreement we'd like to see more options in, especially with the likes of Nir Bitton leaving the club. The Brazilian midfielder has been linked with the club for a number of days now. As I said, I keep seeing his name pop up on social media, but I've been sort of holding off till there was more substance to the story to make a video about him, because I thought it was just one of those names that was plucked from thin air, to be honest. It was a bit of a joke that we were linked with him. Just one of those ones that was made up one night by a journalist when they were bored. But it seems as the days go on, there's more and more to it. It seems that there's a little bit more beef to the story, and I think it is one that we can look at as a serious option that Celtic may consider. Brazilian, as I said, 22 years of age. He's currently with Belgian side Lommel after a year loan at another Belgian side, Mechelen, over in the Belgian Pro League. He's in a situation right now where he's looking for a move. He's returning to his parent club, who are in the second division of Belgian football, after a very impressive stint in the top division of Belgian football. So it's probably quite natural for him to feel like he deserves to move on. He's been touted as someone who is good enough for Premier League level football down in England, never mind Scotland, and he has a number of options on the table as he looks to kind of take the next step forward in his career. As I said, a very impressive season with Mechelen last year in Belgium, and he's looking to build on that. A central defensive midfielder who would come in to play that role that we need right now, and a little bit more depth, a bit more improvement to the options that we have, touched on earlier, Nearbeaton has left the club. We've got Callum McGregor, who we've been relying on to hold down that position for the past season, and he's done incredibly well at that. But I think we all know deep down that we would like McGregor to kind of push up a little bit further. And I know McGregor's done well in it, and some people might not agree with me, but my opinion of Callum McGregor has always been the same, that he deserves to be further up the park. He shouldn't be the one that's in charge of playing in front of that back line. And I think that if we could get him forward with someone else of great quality behind him, that we could really see the benefits of both players, the player that we bring in and Callum McGregor, as he moves up a role. Now, I know we've got a great depth of central midfielders ahead of McGregor anyway. We've got Hatate, we've got O'Reilly, you've got other guys, Turnbull as well, who's returning back. We've got really good players in the centre of the park. But I think that McGregor deserves to be a little bit further up. He offers such a goal threat and such a presence when carrying the ball forward that he can do from that sort of number 6, you could say. But I feel like he just gets more of an opportunity when he's a little bit further forward. Now, this is the thing with Souza. He's been linked, of course, with Celtic. His old job at Mechelen and his job in previous seasons playing professional football, senior level football, is the ability to protect the back line. It seems like that is his sort of role, his duty as a player, and he does that very, very well, and that's what he was extremely good at last season, was protecting that back line. And doing that sort of role. He doesn't offer too much going forward, but his defensive stats make very good reading. What he can do in front of that back four is what Celtic need. They need a player like that. He offers a good aerial presence as well, being 6'1". Apparently, that is one of the main skills to his game. And ultimately, I think he could come in and relieve a lot of pressure from those scenarios where we might get caught out, we might be a little bit stretched and we've took men forward. I think that's the sort of player we need to sit back and help Cameron Carter-Vickers and help Carl Starfelt. For as good as those two are, you can't go wrong with having a little bit more support. Now, according to reports, Celtic face stiff competition in trying to sign Vinicius, your man Vinicius here. It is not going to be an easy task. There's a number of clubs who are looking at him as an option, and he's also a player who is apparently looking at several options. I think one was Fenerbahce that were looking at him, and he was also in discussions, I think, preliminary discussions with the club. Other clubs such as PSV, Club Brugge, and let me get this right, let me just get the last one up so I don't get it wrong, and Bologna in Italy. Apparently are all clubs that were looking at him as a potential option. However, we have been handed a slight boost, a significant advantage, you could say, in the pursuit of Vinicius. Now, this is the thing. Champions League football is apparently what he wants to test himself in. Apparently the prospect of continental football is what he's looking at as his priority, and Celtic, out of the 4 clubs, are the only one who can guarantee top level Champions League football at the moment. I believe PSV and who else was it? One of the 2 clubs, I think PSV and Fenerbahce, that's who it was, sorry, were 2 clubs who are looking at the qualifiers. Bruges do have that same sort of option as well, with the Champions League group stages being guaranteed, and Bologna just don't have any European football whatsoever. So Celtic are in a position unique like Bruges, who can offer Champions League football straight away. If he wanted to come overseas, then Celtic's a good option. If he wants to stay in Belgium, then of course Bruges is an option there. But we are the only 2 clubs at the minute that can guarantee him that Champions League level football. And apparently that's one of the reasons why a move to Fenerbahce is looking less likely, because they cannot guarantee that what he really wants this season. So Celtic can use that to their advantage, and that just highlights the importance, the significance of qualifying for Champions League. You know, what that can do to a club, the players you can then begin to attract. Now, it's not as if we sit here knowing a whole lot about Vinicius Souza. It's not as if we can say that we've watched him every week and we know this, that, and next thing about him. He could come in and be good, he could come in and be a dud. But it still goes to say that the attraction of Champions League football is important in bringing in players like him. 35 appearances last season in the Belgian Pro League, with a very impressive stint, as we said, at Mechelen. Some fees have quoted the potential value of him as high as £7.5 million, which is crazy, and I think that we've seen reports now say that Celtic would prefer an initial loan deal, which makes a lot of sense. Celtic aren't going to go and fish out £7.5 million after spending money on Carter-Vickers and then potentially Jota as well. They're not going to make 3 big money signings in the one window. So I think an initial loan deal does sound more realistic. It'll give Celtic a chance to weigh up an option if he is with the club. And of course, we know that these things are very successful for Celtic. You know, we get the chance to assess players, and sometimes we miss out and such. But I think if they can get one of those optional fees installed in the contract, it allows Celtic to kind of look at it in a little bit of a better light. Brazilian, as I said, not many come to Celtic. Not seen a lot of Brazilians at Celtic. And another kind of thing like the last few players we spoke about, the Argentinians, something a bit different, something of that market we've not dipped into. Only 22 years of age, loads of potential, but with a contract that runs up in 2025, money will be big. They will want it. His value has shot up over the past season. It's went up like mad since the beginning of the 21-22 campaign to the end of the 21-22 campaign. So it will be difficult. But overall, I like the look of him, and I would really like Celtic to try and go in for it if he is a suitable option and Ange sees him proper. Anyway, that'll do it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, I'll keep you updated as the news rolls out. But that's me. Yeah, see you next time.